What's up, guys? So today we're going to continue our inventory system and we're going to add a simple widget that shows up when we step over our pickups. Okay, so let's begin. First thing we need is go to our inventory folder, and over here we're going to create a new folder called widgets. Open it up. Now over here we're going to go to user interface and select widget blueprint, user widgets, and call it WB pickup. Okay, open it up. Now over here we're going to search for canvas panel and drag it in. Now we're going to go over here and set this to desire so that it collapses. Okay, now over here we're going to search for border, and we're going to add a border so that we can have a nice background over here. Now on this border we're going to first go to the padding over here and set this to 15, 5, 15, and 5. Okay, now we're going to go to brush color and set this to black and set the alpha to 0.5 like this. And now we're going to go to brush, and on the draw as we're going to set it as rounded box like this. And that's basically it here. Now we're going to add an horizontal box to this border. So here we can search for horizontal box and add it to the border. Now inside this box we're going to add two text components. So we can search for texts and drag one and drag the other one as well. Now you can see that the text is going off, and the reason for that is because you need to set size to content over here, and then everything will be sized to the text. Okay, now on this one we can change the text to E like this, and on this one we can change the text to interact. Okay, now the font on this we can change this to 14. We can change the alignment to the center, and now we can do the same thing on this one. We can change the alignment to the center, and we're also going to add a padding to the right like 10 so that we can have a small distance between these two. Okay, now we're going to click both of these components, and we're going to check is variable so that we can change it in the pickup. Okay, now this one we're going to rename it to key, which will be our interaction key, and this one we're going to change it to text, which will be the text that we want to display over here. So we can compile and save, and that's it. So we can close this, and now we can go and add this to our pickup. So go to inventory, blueprints, open the pickup, and over here in the scene that we created we're going to add a widget, this one, and as you can see it is right here. Now over here on the space we're going to set it to screen. On the widget class we're going to set this to WB pickup, and we're going to check draw at desired size, this one. Okay, so compile save. Now if you hit play now, you'll see that the widget will show up, but not exactly as we want it. Okay, so the first thing we can do to this is actually give it some height over here. So if we go to the location here on the widgets, we can set this to something like 80 maybe, and if we hit play it should be a little bit higher. Okay, so you change that to your liking. Now the next things that we are going to do is basically make sure that we only show that widget if we step over the pickup. Okay, so to do that we're going to go to the scene and add a collision sphere. So this one, sphere collision, and if we go to viewport you can see that we have the sphere over here. So on the sphere radius we're going to change this to 64 so it is a little bit bigger. Now we're going to go back to the event graph, and over here we're going to right click the sphere, add events, and add the on component begin overlap event. and then go back there again and add the on component and overlap. So this one will trigger when we step over the pickup, and this one will trigger when we stop colliding with the pickup, basically. So right now over here, we're just going to set the visibility of our widget to visible or not, depending if we are stepping on it or not, okay? But before doing that, we need to make sure that our character is locally controlled and that our character is not an NPC, okay? So this way we can ensure that when we step on a pickup, the other players will not see the widget as well. So from the other actor, we can just say cast to character, this one. And over here, we're going to create a simple macro which will check if our player is an NPC or not. So over here, we can create a macro and call it isPlayer. From here on the inputs, we can add a new input, which will be a pawn. And this will be of type pawn, and it will be an object reference, okay? Now from here we can say is locally controlled, and we can say branch. Now this pin of the branch we're going to connect over here to create this execution pin. Now we can move it up like this so that we can organize this, and we're going to do the same thing on the outputs, so connect the true and the false over here. And then we can just break the links because we are not going to connect this like this. So now that we check that our player is locally controlled, we need to check if it is an AI. So to do that, we need to grab the pawn and say get AI controller, this one. And from here, we're going to say is valid, this one. So basically, here we can say branch. So if we are locally controlled, we continue, right? And if not, we return false, saying that this is not a player, okay? Now, if we continue, we check if it is AI controller is valid, and if it is, then we need to return false because it means that we are not a player. And if the AI controller is not valid, then we can return true because it means that we are a player, okay? So that's basically it. I know it might seem confusing, but that's it. So we can close this, and over here we can call this macro like this. We can connect the character over here. And now on the widget, we're basically going to set its visibility. So first of all, we're going to select the widget and we're going to search for visible and uncheck it. So we're making sure that it starts invisible, and then we toggle its visibility. So here we can grab the widget and we can say set visibility, and we can set it to true, like this. So it means when we step over the pickup, we will show the widget, okay? So and on this one, we can just copy this and paste it over here. So if we stop colliding with the pickup, then we set the visibility to false, like this. And that's basically it. So if we compile and save and hit play, you should now see that the widget only shows up when we step on the colliding sphere, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is actually change the interact text to be the display name that we set on our data tables. So to do that, we're just going to move this over here maybe, and then we're going to click this break item, and we're going to expose the display name like this. So this way we have access to the display name that we set on our data tables. Now we're going to grab our widget. We're going to say get widget to basically get the widget class. And then here we're going to say cast to WB pickup, the widget that we created. And this way we have access to the variables that we created inside the widget. So if we say get text, this one, we have access to the text component that we created. And here we can say set text, this one, and we can basically set the text of this widget to the display name of the item that comes from the data table. Okay, so you can connect all of this and organize this if you want, like this, so that you understand where things are going. And that's basically it. So this way, when we hit play and step over the pickup, it should show up the name of the item that we specified. Okay, so we can test this out. If you have the items from the previous videos, we can just press Alt and move this over here, and here we can change the name to pistol, and we can see if the other items are actually showing up correct. So this says pistol and this says cube. As you can see, everything is working nice. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something with it, and don't forget to subscribe.